Good morning, class 6. So today we are going to study the story The Toy Box, which is given on page number 60 of your English literature textbook. Now this story is about a small family, parents and two children, a girl and a boy, who are moving to the new house. So the children have not seen the house before, and when they enter, the father, when they are driving into the new house, when they drive into the main gates, the father tells them to keep their eyes closed. He wants to surprise them because the house is huge and there are beautiful gardens all around it. Now, when the children finally get to open their eyes, the reaction of both the children is different. The girl, she finds it very beautiful, whereas the boy, he kinds of finds it frightening. Now let us see what all happens in the story and what is the surprising twist which is there at the end of the story. "Don't look," said father as he eased the car into a lower gear. He and mother were sitting in the front, Matilda and I in the back. The tires made a pleasing crunch as they passed over the gravel. The crunch over here is the sound of the tires moving over the gravel. Father drove steadily, trying not to scatter the stones over the well-manicured lawn on either side of the narrow drive. So the drive is the pathway through which vehicles pass, so that they do not spoil the lawn. "I want you both to shut your eyes and only open them when I tell you," said father. Now this story is from the point of view of it seems that the author has narrated the story through the little boy. Although we were excited at the prospect of seeing a new house, the idea or the vision of seeing something in future of the new house, we did as we were instructed. Now for children it is very difficult to keep surprises or to have patience. But still here the two children, they do as their father told them to do. Mother had told us the week before that suitable accommodation had been found and that we would be moving in today. Father had said little suitable accommodation, meaning to say now they were moving to a bigger house where there was a garden and lot of space for the children to run around and get lot of exercise. "You'll see when we get there," he said in answer to our questions. So children, are very curious. So when they were asking their father different questions as to what the house was like, what the lawns were like, the father only kept up the suspense and he did not answer them at all, and he told them that they will find out once they reach there. The packers had been busy during the previous week. It had been fun living with boxes everywhere. So something which for the adults might have been a very tiresome thing to be moving around with everything lying here and there, but the children, they found for them it was fun filled. Then suddenly our magical playground had been whisked away and we were left with a few suitcases. So what is the magical playground over here? The different kinds of box and crates in which the household things were being packed. The large gates we had passed through a little earlier were impressive and the gardens magnificent. So now here the boy is telling about the new house that they are entering. Spring blossoms were everywhere. Birds twittered in the trees and bees buzzed about the flowers. But now, as we listened to the crunching gravel, with our eyes shut, the suspense became intolerable. Why intolerable? See, they are so close. They are inside the gates of the new house and still they don't know what it looks like. So it is intolerable. "You can open your eyes," announced father at last, as the car ground to a halt, came to a stop. "Wow, beautiful," said Matilda, as we looked at the house for the first time. "Wow, scary," said I. So the boy has found the house to be frightening. The rambling mansion, rambling over here suggests that it is it is built in such a way that it is huge and it is kind of coming down also, and it gives a spooky feeling. that stood before us seemed to tower into the sky. Tower into the sky, meaning to say it was huge. It was immense. Immense means big. It was old, and to me it seemed spooky, frightening. There's nothing scary about it. You'll have a great time here, said father. There's plenty to explore to find out. I haven't seen the whole of it myself. So even the father had not gone through the whole house. He had just liked the look of it and the fact that there were a lot of gardens over there, a lot of space for the children to move. So he had bought it. Now the father, mother and Matilda went straight into the house, but I, a little less enthusiastic, a little less excited. The boy did not like the look of the house. Followed in my own time. So he was slow in following his parents and sister into the house. I caught up with the others in the spacious living room. Spacious meaning to say with lot of space. Your bedrooms are upstairs, announced mother excitedly, and there's a large room at the side of the house on the ground floor which you can use as a playroom. So, see, both the children have got their own room. Then there is a playroom on the ground floor. So that means the house is huge. She led the way along a dark corridor, and we followed. The playroom was indeed large, but it seemed cold and damp. Why it was cold and damp? Because nobody had used it for a long time, and without anything to decorate it. That also is one factor because of which you do not like a place or find it cold or damp. We'll have it warmed up in no time, Tom, father assured me, promised it. Noticing that I had shuddered. Shuddered means shivered. It can be because he was already finding the house frightening or spooky, or maybe it really was very damp and chilly. He went on to explain, because no one has lived here for some time, the heating has been turned off. Heating has been turned off. The heater or whatever the provision was to keep the room warm, it was not working at the time. There's plenty to discover, and you'll have fun finding out where all the rooms are. An hour later, when we had been through the house from top to bottom, up staircases and down others, and in and out of umpteen rooms. Umpteen meaning umpteen over here stands for something which they had not counted, a lot number. We returned to the playroom. Our large toy box had been placed against the far wall of the room, and Matilda went straight to it to unpack some toys. So Matilda is somebody who is very quick to do things. So she has started unpacking the toys. She took out what she needed, and then, answering a call from mother upstairs, ran off to find why she was being summoned. Summoned means called. I stood in silence, alone in the large room. Now, so Matilda is not there, and there is nobody else making any kind of sound. So the boy is standing there all alone. It was then that I heard, for the first time, a feeble cry followed by a long moan. Feeble cry, a very weak cry. Moan, a cry of pain or a sound of pain. It seemed to come from the box, but this was just not possible. Perhaps a cat has entered the room, I thought to myself. Who's I over here? The little boy. Or it's my imagination. There are times when certain sounds are playing in your mind and you think you have heard that sound, or there are times when you believe that you have seen something also, kind of an apparition. So it is the mind playing tricks on our eyes or our ears. I pulled a couple of toys from the box, but when I heard the cry again, I screamed, dropped the toy truck I had been holding, and fled. Fled means ran fast. I found Matilda and mother upstairs in my bedroom. My suitcase and a couple of boxes containing clothes, more toys and books were lying on the floor beside the bed. Mother was unpacking a smaller case on the bed. I began to help her put away some of my clothes in a large cupboard that was standing against one wall. I paused by a window to look at the garden outside. Stopped. It was bright and warm, and everything looked green and fresh. I wanted to be out there, not in this dark house with its cold, echoing rooms and strange sounds. So, the little boy, he is standing there in his bedroom and he wants to be outside and not inside the room. Now, in the next class, we will see what happens further in the story. In the meantime, I want you to reread what we read today. If there is a difficult word, please find out the meaning and write it down in your book, as well as learn the spellings of all the difficult words. Thank you.